Let's get to the news. E3, it's not happening. That's
Wait,
still
what?
the news.
What?
Yeah, unpack your bags, Brad.
Shit.
Think about that. In some alternate reality where competence reigns supreme, like Judges Week would be over by now.
God, yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
Jen and I would be getting truck ready. Holy shit.
God, yeah. Like
Yeah.
the truck would be, let's see. So I guess what occasion to this whole discussion is that Sega announced a new thing.
Yes, Sega announced a new thing.
New Game Plus Expo, and they're the latest to announce a thing. And then rather than just covering the new thing that just got announced, like why don't we maybe take stock of all the things that have been announced? But in the course of that, it occurred to me, and this completely snuck up on me, that E3 would be 2 weeks from today if it was still going forward.
Yeah, Jesus.
2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. It's fucking wild to even think about. Like, it just how far away we are from that is so wild.
Let's build it in Minecraft.
Okay. Yeah.
Now you're
That's
talking. All right,
virtual.
we're gonna reconstruct the LACC. You think you can get the blueprints for that place online somewhere?
Oh,
Probably.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
the drafting documents or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's build the Los Angeles Convention Center.
But like, I want
yeah.
old blueprints because I want like
Yeah.
the real Kensha Hall in there.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Not the part.
And you go down there and it's just creepers that are always trying to glom onto you and get you to come to their booth to see like whatever teledildonic video game thing they're working on. Yeah, so the New Game Plus Expo will happen June 23rd, and it's like 14 different companies, including Koei Tecmo, NIS America, SNK.
So we're going to see some Japanese
Gung-Ho.
JRPG ass games.
Yeah, Gung Ho was a part of that.
Grasshopper Manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Inti creates. Natsume.
Right. Natsume.
Oh.
The fishing people. Natsume, they make more than just those fishing games for the PS1, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so they have announced the New Game Plus Expo for June 23rd. And that's going to be, it sounds like that'll maybe be like an hour of announcements and then a longer live stream where they kind of do interviews and some other stuff along the way. We'll kind of have to see what shape that takes. But yeah, well, like the calendar is starting to firm up just the littlest bit.
Mm-hmm.
And Kotaku's kind of put a list of that together. Where, you know, we've got the outlets, we've got the kind of non-game publisher entities like, you know, Geoff Keighley's out there obviously doing his thing, and they did that Unreal demo, and he was there for the announcement of Tony Hawk, and then I think just recently did like a stream with Mortal Kombat, like showed off the RoboCop friendship for the first time and stuff like that. So
didn't he also have his stamp on the UE5 thing?
Yes, that's what. Yeah, the UE5 demo was yeah.
Sorry, I was looking at his site. Like, he's got a big schedule up on his site. I mean, I guess his thing is like the most like overarching, like all summer long kind of catch-all thing, right?
Yeah,
but he's got like The Last of Us Part 2 State of Play on his list, which like I think he might be pulling in things that he's not like officially rolling out himself.
Yeah, I think anything that, yeah, totally. Like anything that's happening this summer, he has been the one that was out there first with a branding that lets him kind of encompass everything in one way or the other.
Like he's got TennoCon 2020 on this list.
Right. Yeah, and you know, he's certainly involved with some of those announcements that are happening. I think I think he's doing a separate live stream once a week or something.
Yeah, to be fair, maybe he very well may be making deals with all of these.
Certainly possible. I don't actually know what the business is on that. I think we said last time that it made sense for someone in like a relatively agnostic role like Geoff Keighley is to be kind of traffic cop for the game industry when it comes to even just like scheduling events and stuff like that. So I think he's probably a better fit for that than like, you know, like IGN's doing a series of events, you know, GameSpot's doing some stuff as well. And like, you know, they're a little more, you know, the PC gaming show was happening, like that sort of stuff for PC Gamers thing. And that's a little different, where I think Geoff Keighley's kind of in that role in a way that makes sense. So yeah, there's other stuff like this Guerrilla Collective event, which sounds like it's going to be held by the Mix. The PC, that'll be June 6th. The PC Gaming Show, which has been happening for the past few years, will happen again, and that's always been just a live stream anyway. So, or I don't even know if it's live, and they've streamed it out every year. I assume it's live. I actually don't know. And then we've got June 11th is probably the next big hit here, where we've got a Cyberpunk event. We've got EA Play. June 22nd will be Day of the Devs. Okay. So that'll be like I Am 8-Bit, and Double Fine obviously has been in. Well, I guess that's now Microsoft in a weird way when you think about it, because Double Fine is now Microsoft, right?
I completely forgot that they were owned by Microsoft.
Yeah, remember that?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, yeah. So that's gonna happen. I don't think. I wonder if that will change the scope of Day of the Devs. I can't imagine it will, but that happened. July 12th, Ubisoft will have a live stream, and then sometime in July, Microsoft will go. And that seems like the current kind of known list of things. We'll talk over some of those, but not all of those. I think some of those, it certainly makes sense to look at the EA Play or the Cyberpunk thing, but like, we're not going to talk over some other outlets thing. IGN actually just put out a long, a big schedule for their, I think they're doing like 3 days of stuff.
Yeah.
And
actually,
they've already,
I guess they've broadened it into multiple kind of segments.
Yeah, they've kind of their big infographic thing says like almost exactly what everything is. Like, hey, here's a new game from Merge. Here's a new thing from this developer. There's like, I think one thing on the third day that just says, here we have an exclusive game announcement that doesn't tease who the publisher is or something like that. So be curious to see what that is. But they seem like they're getting stuff that's like in a similar scope as like the PC gaming show would normally get when it comes to exclusives and announcements. We'll kind of see how that stuff goes. And I assume GameSpot has a similar style of thing as well. 2K is, I think, going to do something in there, or they might just be part of some of these outlet-specific events or something. Maybe they won't do something on their own. I'm not actually sure. But I know their logo has appeared on some things. So maybe we'll see more of that really terrible-looking wrestling game. I don't know.
Let's hope so.
Do you think Sony?
Let's hope for some demos too. Like, it would be nice if during these events that they would say, "Hey, and the demo is available now."
Yeah, I mean, there's the Steam Game Festival.
Steam Game Festival, yeah, June 9th through the 14th is the Steam Game Festival, and that's something that has traditionally been associated with demos going up on Steam.
Yeah, I think last time they did it, wasn't it like 40 games or something? It was like kind of a lot.
Yeah,
a bunch,
or maybe maybe a dozen or something, but it was like a good number. And also, this Kotaku thing points out that I guess Microsoft is part of that now, or this time, since they've got games on Steam now, and maybe they're actually going to put some stuff out to play.
Yeah, that's maybe. Yeah, that'd be nice. Maybe that just means that they're going to polish up their demos a little extra, or limit them in such a way that they can be sent out to the public, and not just running on a kiosk in a booth somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. That'd be cool if they could find ways to do more of that stuff digitally and get things into people's hands. Like, honestly, you gotta wonder
if we're going to see this.
If we're going to see, like what form does E3 take in the future? Right. In a world where people are comfortable getting into a convention center together and all that sort of stuff, like, is this gonna prove that maybe they don't need that thing after all? We'll see. I mean, it's a long list, but not necessarily the deepest list in the world. I think there are still plenty of companies out there that could go one way or the other, and obviously Sony is still something of a question mark in here. They've got some Last of Us stuff, like that state of play you were talking about, but
they've got to slot in with the PS5 thing at some point somewhere, right?
Yes.
Like they can't just do the DualSense thing of just like post on the blog goes up like, here's what the PS5 looks like, right? Like, there's got to be more to it than that.
I would like to think that they would have more to it than that, but I don't know. Everything is weird, right? I mean, Nintendo announced that Paper Mario game with a trailer.
Right.
They didn't even have a direct for it. So, you get the impression that everyone's just trying stuff and seeing what fits and where, and what are the different ways they can announce games and show games, and does it matter? If you've got something big like the PlayStation 5, people are going to seek that info out no matter what, no matter where it comes from. So like they could write that, on a wall somewhere, and someone would like find it and take pictures of it and put it up, right? It's like that stuff, they could get that info out however they want, and it would still be big news. Whereas I think it's smart that you have like this New Game Plus Expo with these, like, hey, Sega ain't small, right? But they're not the biggest publisher in the world these days either. So the idea of like companies of that size and smaller banding together and saying like, here's a big event, you're going to have something here you're going to be interested in, because we got all these studios participating. I think that's a smart way for them to go. And I think it's cool that they're doing it on their own.
It's a smart way to make a gang too, so that they can rumble afterwards, or just during the event.
Yeah. Just like a Dengeki Bancho, whatever kind of way.
I wonder if the way that Sony and maybe to a lesser extent Microsoft are still playing things a little bit close to the vests, if you start ending up with any third parties that are like champing at the bit to show off their next gen games, and like we get into a situation where it's like a 2K or somebody like that, or a Warner Brothers or somebody is showing off like, hey, here's our Series X PS5 launch game.
Right, or they have to say this is coming to next generation consoles,
next generation platforms. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, but also, I think Microsoft kind of swung its door open a little bit with that. I mean, they didn't put their best foot forward for sure, but they at least have had an event where they said, here is some games for the Xbox Series X. So there's at least a pathway there, whereas Sony hasn't really fully opened that door yet. Obviously, there's been some stuff. What was that game months ago? There was the game with the footage leaked out.
Oh, was it the Gearbox published?
Yeah, that's the one.
Something?
Godfall?
Godfall? That sounds right. Yeah.
So you had that, and then them saying like, oh yeah, that's a PlayStation 5 game anyway. So there've been little bits and pieces like that. There was some Instagram account for like a racing chair or something that said that it was going to be compatible with Gran Turismo 7. Just had a logo on it and stuff.
Right.
Like,
sure.
What the fuck?
Sure.
So
maybe it's a little cliche at this point, but I feel like every generation now you're looking for the dark sector, right? Like,
yeah.
Of course. I mean, we've seen some stuff now, so it's not quite.
We have like, is Godfall the dark sector of this generation?
Yeah.
Like it felt like it at the time, but I don't know.
Yeah. Real quick, I don't know if we're about to move on here. Some breaking news from the chat. I guess like 5 minutes ago, Blizzard just confirmed there will be no BlizzCon this year.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So. That's yeah. that makes sense.
I just landed on something from April where they had said like, hey, we're monitoring the situation. We don't know what things are going to look like at that point yet. But let me see here. A digital event for early 2021.
Oh, okay. So not even something in the same window.
Yeah.
Just
yes. Sounds like yes.
Good. I bet that there's a little bit of pressure relief when it comes to stuff like that. When they say, hey, we're also not going to do it in the same time frame. So like the developers that would have to crunch to get demos or cinematics or whatever the hell they're doing for an event like BlizzCon or any of these other things can go like, okay, good. We're going to need the extra time to figure out how to do all that remotely. Or actually, I mean, you would hope that they would have figured out most of how to do that by now. But yeah.